And you know, when I look around, I see Logano. I don't know where this gentleman got the coat from, but that's okay. We're gonna let him stay. How are you?
I'm doing great. Beautiful day in California. Got a great race car. Ready to go racing. I feel good.
You know, I introduced you as Shell Pennzoil, and then of course immediately saw the hat. How cool is it that you're representing the title sponsor, Auto Club, right here at the Auto Club Speedway?
We better win, huh? No, it's great. Auto Club's been a great partner of Team Penske in the last few years for me, and I've enjoyed working with them a lot. And I don't know if it's good or bad, but I have to use them a lot. I think it's, I break down on the side of the road too much. I got too many old cars and they break down, and then I had to call them 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh, I'm on the side of the road again, and they call them, pick me up, and it actually works out pretty well. So I'm a believer of them because I actually use them.
All right, ma'am, raise your hand. It led right into it. I asked these folks, I said, give me a couple of questions that I can ask Joey. I went to this lady here first, and she said, would you ask Joey Logano how many speeding tickets he has?
Actually, not that many.
Not that many. Does that help us at all?
It could mean anything. I mean, it just depends on what you think a lot is. I will tell you something really cool, though, is I got to spend a week out here, and we went to the LAPD training center, and they let us drive police cars, and I spun out a police officer, and I did not get in trouble. How cool, that's like the coolest thing you could ever do, so that was a lot of fun. It was, actually it was really cool. They put us in this simulator that was like a lot of different scenarios would play out in it, and you know, like you walk into a domestic violence case or a home robbery or whatever it would be, and it kind of changes on how you talk to the simulator and what you say and how you do things. And every time I got killed is what I realized. That so I just get to driving race cars.
He did not answer your question. He did not. Just the over/under.
Like 2 or 3, I think.
There you go. Where's the gentleman over here that asked? Right there. Very good question. He asked, he said, you know, when you came into this sport, a lot like Chase Elliott is doing right now, you will be the next superstar. And obviously, I think we all know that right now he really is. But you had to go through a learning curve and a maturity curve. And this gentleman said, how much have you learned and how have you matured over the years from when you first walked, you know, into a facility like this?
Quite a bit. I remember the first time I came here, I think I ran about 30th all day long. And I remember that race in my mind for some reason. I want to forget those, but it's also what keeps you driven, right? Is you don't want to, you know, repeat those days. They were learning days for me, so they're good, but you know, you don't really, it's not much fun when you're not running up front out there. So, you know, I definitely learned a lot as far as how to be a good race car driver at each racetrack. How to work with my team, how to build a team. It's been a lot of different things, a lot of different areas, but I've had a blast with it. It's been a lot of fun. It was tough at times because you start to get to the point that you start to wonder, am I going to be a race car driver? Is this all going to work out? But you just keep your head down, keep digging, and eventually it worked out.
It certainly has. Would you agree? Yeah. By the way, Daytona 500 winner of a year ago. And who asked the question right here? We were talking a little bit about the racetrack. This lady right here had a question about the seams in the racetrack, and we kind of explained a little bit about that. Talk to us about how you manage the seams, what happens as the temperature goes up, and how they affect the race car.
Just don't get near the seams is what I learned. It's funny. I went for a jog out around the racetrack. I think it was Tuesday. I don't know. I've been here all week. I think it was Tuesday morning. Maybe it was Wednesday morning. And so I went around the track and I was looking at the seams, and there's like a gap in the asphalt. They're like this big, and that's in between each lane. But then there's like the bottom 2 lanes of the racetrack, and whoever was putting the sealer down, I'm pretty sure he was drunk because they are all over the place, and they're like there's no cracks underneath them. It's just sealer on top of the asphalt. Like, what was he thinking? And then I noticed it's only in the bottom 2 lanes, so he must have got tired and didn't go up any higher or something. So that was what I learned on Wednesday morning, running around the track. So, but they're really slick. It is a big thing. It's just that sealer and the gaps in the asphalt like that. The cars just get no grip over them. So what you see a lot of the cars do, they're either going to be right in that lane or they'll split it and run the seam right down the center of the car. You know, so really the biggest thing is that if you slide up and you get your right size on it, you just lose all your grip. And you'll see that happen to some people today. And we call it getting stuck on the seam is what we always say. and you get stuck on it, and you can't get off it, and you can't get on it, or away from it, and you just lose a lot of speed that lap. So it's a fine line of making sure you hit your marks around this racetrack.
Very good question. Joey Logano, everybody. If you're just getting here in the back, it's Joey Logano up front on the stage. All right, let's talk about the moguls on the back straightaway. I said to these folks, it reminds me of AMA Supercross. Can you explain and put into layman's terms what that must feel like? We see it on TV, but I don't think we can really understand what it feels like in the car.
Well, if you were driving one of these beautiful cars around here in the Ford display, you wouldn't even feel them. You'd be driving, it's like driving down the highway and have a little bump, no big deal. But with our cars, you know, we have the ride height so low, the car's sitting on the ground pretty much. So we lose travel when we go over those bumps, and we basically just hit the ground with our race cars. And it gets pretty harsh when it's like that. And so the car just bam, 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 and it keeps hitting it all day, and it's tough on the race cars. It's multiple times you have wore the splitter right off the car because you hit the track more down the straightaway than you do when the cars unload in the corners. So, you know, the way we set up the cars and say how much do we save our splitter, but we still want to be low in the corners. So it's a kind of a challenge to figure out how we make our car live down to, I like how you call them the moguls, the whoops, whatever you want to call them. They're pretty tough.
Do they do anything to you as a driver? I mean, you guys are strapped in there tight, but I mean, are you getting knocked around in there?
It beats you up for sure. You know, it's you know, the first few times it's not a big deal, but after you do it for 3.5 hours or so, it starts to beat you up a little bit inside the car. But you know, I guess we're kind of used to it. You know, a lot of the racetracks we go to, I say a lot, but this is an older surface. You know, Logano is kind of like this too, and you start getting used to those big bumps, and sometimes after the race, like your insides hurt. I don't know what it is, but something's bouncing around so much in there that you get a little sore on the inside.
He's pretty good on the racetrack. Agree? Yeah! I want to tell you how good he is off the racetrack. I'm going to take you back a week ago in Phoenix. He has passions besides racing, and one of them is kids, and one is making sure the kids aren't bullied in school. And Joey Logano put together a program to bring awareness to it. I would like you to talk a little bit about that and one very special little girl.
Yeah, it was something that it was really fun, and it's something Shell helped us out with the Fuel for Success kids. So they're able to bring a lot of kids that don't typically get the opportunity to come to a race and kind of show them, give them the VIP experience. And they're actually here again today, which is a lot of fun to get to talk to them because you know, they have so many questions, and they're race fans, but they never got the opportunity to come. And we did an anti-bullying campaign with them, and everyone got to kind of design a helmet of however they wanted to, and so that this little girl named Felicia, she designed one, and that was the winner, and we were able to present it to her, and she was the cutest little girl in the world. So she got that and got a picture and the whole nine with it, so it was really cool.
Very cool. What do you think? Okay, let's wrap up with this. Obviously, we want to know what he thinks about his chances of going to victory lane like his teammate did a year ago. Before I ask you that obvious question, take us through real quickly what you learned in practice. Tires falling off, which means that we're losing grip, speeds are coming down. Significant here. How do you approach 400 miles here at the Auto Club Speedway?
The tires fall off here almost as quick as Atlanta, and so that's a big deal when we look at tire strategy and how we go play through this race. And what that does tell me though is this can go any way. You know, if you look at last year, Brad won the race. He led one lap. The most important one. Not because he had the fastest car, because they had the right strategy, put 4 tires on there at the end, only a few laps to go. A lot of cars stayed out, a lot of them only took 2, and he was that much faster with 4 tires that he passed them all that quick, and the track is so wide that you can find room to get around people. So, you know, I think a lot of people probably took a lot of notes from that race and learned a lot, and I don't know if that'll all happen again because everyone learned from it, but that just goes to show you're never out of this race. That's one of the biggest things I learned just from rewatching the races. You know, even if you have a 10th place car, it doesn't mean you can't win this race. You know, there's so many things that can happen throughout it, so we just got to keep on our game no matter what. You know, I do think we have a very fast car. I have a car that I think can win this race today, so I'm really excited about that. You know, so we just got to, you know, just go out there and execute, do what we know how to do. You know, don't get crazy or anything like that. There's going to be a lot of guys running really high up against the wall. You know, I've seen that a lot yesterday in the Xfinity race. we don't want to hit the wall. Yeah, it's not good when you hit the wall with these Cup cars. You got so much shape on the right side. When you flatten that out, it's not a good thing. So, just got to be smart about when we go up here to try to make speed and also try to preserve our car for the end of the race.
What do you think? You want to pull for the 22 today? I know he'd appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Logano. Thank you, Joey. Stay with us.